Okay, everybody, today, this is Dean here. We're gonna show you how to change out one of these aging window screens here in Florida or anywhere else. The sun beats these things up and they get really ratty and they look ugly, and they have a lot of fiberglass in them. So when you're taking the old one out, wear gloves or you'll get that fiberglass on you and it'll itch. So I always wear gloves just for that part. Here we go. Tell you what, I'm gonna turn my bench over here. Now let's see, what you need for starters is a pick or something to get the old spline out. It's a little tubular looking thing in most of the screens. You can dig out one end of it like this. If you don't have a pick like this, any kind of sharp instrument that's pretty small will do it. Maybe, well, needle nose pliers are probably too big to fit in there. But once you get that spline going, it's usually one big long one that goes all the way around the window. So tear it out. Don't need to be cutesy with it. Rip it out of there. But be careful not to bend your frame. This stuff is old and ratty. You can see how brittle it is. It's like splitting. It's so brittle. There you go. Now, be careful not to tear it. It'll save you some time. But if you tear it, you can still pull it out. So here it's stuck in there. And once you get this stuff out, get it on out of here, get it in the trash, because it's got like fibers all over it from fiberglass. I'll be right back. Now you've got your frame. A lot of times there'll be debris and crud and dirt in that little slot. So I take a little blower here. I'm gonna blow all the crud out, or you can just use a little basic, any kind of a brush to get the dirt out of here so that the new screen can get rolled in there real easily with the roller and the spline. Okay. All right, now, so now you got to cut a square of screen like this. Make sure it overlaps the actual part about, I don't know, ½ an inch at least. So you don't want to cutesy that either. Go ahead and give yourself some extra slack, because if you cut it too short, then you got to start all over. So get you some nice overlap in there. And when you lay it out, make sure that it's going to cover it good, or you'll be having to start over later. Okay. Now what we got is, we take our spline and we got to measure it here. I'm going to go, okay, I got this side, that side. It's not a square, you could just do like 4 of the same thing, and then, okay, that's about roughly right. Note it and then cut it. Get your extra spline out of the road. Now we got our roller here. Got to get moving on this. Okay. Make sure it's orthogonal. You want it 90 degrees. If you do a screen and then the little screen lines are like that, it looks really hokey. And you can take these off if you want for more dexterity at this point, now that you're done with the old ratty stuff. Now what you do is take the, you got one here that's plain, and then this one has a little U slot. Take the plain one and get something going in here. It just kind of stable it down, and you take this and pack it in. Now you use the U side that can kind of hold the spline down better and push it down. Get it started and start rolling out. Make sure the screen doesn't bunch up. There we go. It's good to get that out there. Put it in place first and then roll it if you want. Okay. Make sure you're nice and stretched out so you don't want it kind of messing up, okay? You need a nice good flat table for this. Okay, now we want to take the other side of this thing again. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can use either side of this spline roller to do that. The initial one just tucks the screen in, and then the next one you can actually put the spline in. And you can get faster and faster at it as you go, see? Pull this thing taut. It's a little bit bunched up there. I'm not liking that. It might be okay. Here we go. A lot of times the spline roller will tighten it for you. Okay, here we go. Tucking them in, get them in the ballpark there. Okay, got 3 out of 4 done already. Looking pretty good. The orthogonality is good. You got 90 degrees there. Okay, now we're gonna go with this again. Now it should be pretty snug, and when you put that spline in, it'll tighten it up even a little more. Got the splines going in. Looking good. Okay, be careful not to cut it. I mean, if you jump out of the track, you can damage the screen there, the nice new screen, but luckily when it's new, it's a lot more flexible and it won't break like the old stuff would. And it's not looking that good here, but it's, yeah, that looks a little better. Now the spline at the end, you're gonna cut it. Just so that little end is sticking up. Now roll that end in there. Now you got the whole thing done. The screen is nice and taut. Now it's a simple matter of taking this nice, get a really razor sharp blade here. And you're gonna start, first make sure the spline is tucked in good. It usually is, but if not, roll it in there. Now, you take this edge, you're gonna take this blade, put it on the outside away from the actual window, and put it between the spline and the metal edge there. Kind of really tuck the tip of that blade in there, and really firmly you're gonna kind of really hold it so that that blade can't jump out of there and scratch anything. And it takes some practice, so go slow at first. See, look at that, it just shaved that off. Now I'm going to take it and just kind of cut this piece in half. You don't have to do this step, but get it out of your way. Now we'll take this blade and just move around the square, just like we did with the spline. Okay, it's peeling off now. Oops, it jumped out. See, that's how you put a scratch in the screen, in the frame doing that. Be really careful with this blade here. Okay, coming around. That corner's not tucked. I'll go back and tuck that in a second. one more edge and we're done. There we go. Okay, that's done. Now you want to take this and just kind of roll in any areas that are still, that are not totally done. Mainly check the corners, because sometimes they rise up a little bit. Good there. You can just jam them straight down. Don't have to try to roll them. Okay, and lo and behold, oops, I see a little bit right here that didn't get trimmed quite good. We're gonna, yeah, this little tiny bit right here. See that little tiny piece? Now you got yourself a perfectly looking new screen to pop in. It's nice and taut, and it's you can even twirl it like that, and that's how you do a screen. So don't be intimidated by it. You can do it. Thank you.